All right, you guys. Happy Friday. Happy January 6th. We are already almost an entire week into the new year, which is really exciting, but it also can be a little bit overwhelming. So I appreciate you being here, whether you're here live with us or you're listening to the playback. I'm really excited to share some things with you. So to kind of introduce myself a little bit, my name is Corey Mayo. I am a wife and a mama. I am a health and fitness coach. I have been on my wellness journey to grow and learn and just get a little bit better since 2012, which is really pretty exciting because I was always that person who struggled with her weight, who did the yo-yo diets and kind of did the roller coaster ride where it was up and down, up and down, up and down. Never really felt comfortable with myself and really struggled to kind of fit in and feel confident in who I was as a person until I started this path, which really started as a weight loss journey and focusing on fitness with a little bit of nutrition in there. But that journey has morphed over time and is very much about mindset and learning about the thoughts that go through our mind and just learning and growing as a person a little bit more each day. Okay. So I'm hoping that what I share with you guys today can be helpful in your journey. It can help you to set this year up a little bit differently than maybe what you have done in the past to truly make this year different. Okay. Because we all go into the new year with so much excitement. It's a fresh slate, new year, new me. You've heard all the things, right? But at the end of the day, if nothing changes, right? And I understand that it can be very overwhelming and we can be pulled in so many different directions. So I'm going to kind of talk on motivation a little bit, but really what I want to talk about today is the mindset behind the motivation. Okay. So we come into the new year, we are so excited to create change. We maybe feel super motivated to work towards X, Y, and Z. And we're like drawing a line in the sand and this is it. Right. But fun fact that I actually just looked up because I know that it is common for people to fall off in the first few weeks of the year. Right. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But 43% of people who set a New Year's resolution goal expect to fail before February. They expect to fail. Like, just let that sink in for a minute. If you go into something expecting it's not going to happen or that you're going to fail at it, what's going to happen? You're going to allow yourself to fail and to have all the outs in the world because you already are setting yourself up for failure. You're already setting yourself up for that expectation that it is not going to work. You never make it happen, whatever. And all of those thoughts start flooding your mind. So rather than expecting it, what if we came into the year and we approached something with a positive outlook? You guys might see me look down. I'm going to have full disclosure. I do have notes so that I don't get totally off on a tangent and I don't take up your entire Friday. Okay. But what if we approached it differently? At the end of the day, reaching our goals is never a straight line, right? It's never a straight path from A to B. And when we go into the new year with, I'm going to do this, but we really don't have a plan or steps that are going to help us to get there, and we already expect that we're going to fail, it can be really hard to see maybe the different path that is still going to get us to the goal, but we just don't know that path yet. And the different opportunities that are going to help us to grow to the person that we're working to become. Because at the end of the day, who we are today is not going to be the person who is living the goal that you have, right? We have to grow into her. We have to take steps to become her. And that's not a bad thing, you guys. We should be growing. We should be expanding. We should be learning new things, right? So keeping an open mind and allowing ourselves to take those twists and turns and learn along the way is going to allow us to keep going for longer periods of time. Okay. One of my favorite things to remember, and you've probably heard this, and some people say that it's cliche, but it's very true, that failure doesn't have to mean that you stop and you give up. If you failed at it, it's simply an opportunity to look at it and say, okay, what can I do better? How can I learn from this? I'm here for a reason. There's a lesson to be learned. But we're just so conditioned to, oh, it didn't work this time. There I go. Same thing I always do. I failed again. And then your mind just keeps going, right? It just runs with all of those negative thoughts. Quick little like sidebar here. This is why I have notes, because I do this. A little sidebar. I want you to think about a baby when they first start walking. Do they pull themselves up with their little wobbly legs and they're like this? And the first time they fall, do they say, oh, well, I tried. I'm never going to walk. I'm never going to keep up with my siblings. It's never going to happen. No, because they don't know any better and they haven't been conditioned to be a failure. They get up and they try again. And they learn. They don't know that they're learning, but they are. They figure out how to keep their balance a little bit better. They figure out how far they can go before they get tired. And each time they keep building a little bit more. They take a couple more steps. They get a little bit stronger. They can go farther. Then they can go a little faster. And then before you know it, they are running and getting into everything. And you are like, oh my God, I need to baby-proof my house because they're all over the place. You need to let yourself be a beginner, my friends. You need to allow yourself to be that baby and start. There is no shame in that. And for some reason, we have created this shame around being a beginner or being people seeing us fail or not be perfect. So of course, we're going to expect that we fail because nobody's perfect. Okay. So we are going to create some shifts around the motivation and the fact that we have to create all this change right off the bat. But first, we're going to look at when you come into the new year, when you think about the goals that you want to work towards, where is that coming from? Why do you want to work towards those new goals? Why do you want to create the changes that are on your heart? You know what I'm talking about. There's that, okay, I'm done. The first of the year, you draw that line in the sand and you're like, I'm going to change X, Y, and Z because it's typically because I hate, I'm not happy with, I suck at. Sound familiar? I'm not happy with the way blank is. And while the pain points can be great motivators, they're coming from a place of self-loathing or lacking, which is setting us up for the expectation of failure. We're not happy there. So I'm going to challenge you, instead of coming from a place of self-loathing or lack, because you guys, we all have stumbles in life. We've all had hard seasons. We've all failed at some point. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you're a failure and that you can't create change. And the reality is that we are who we are today because of thousands of steps every single day that have gotten us to where we are right now. We didn't just wake up here. Okay. So you're not just going to wake up and be that goal person that you have in your mind. It's going to take work. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to probably unpack some things that you have been kind of pushing down feeling wise, right? We didn't just wake up here. So what I'm going to encourage you or challenge you to do is to be that beginner. Love yourself where you are. You're here. You can't change the steps that you've taken in the past. And unfortunately, so many industries have capitalized on the fact that come the new year, we hate where we are. or that we didn't accomplish X, Y, and Z goals, right? I am a health and fitness coach, you guys, and the diet industry is the number one culprit in that. You should feel guilty. You ate all the snacks during the holidays. You should feel terrible about yourself. You're not this size. It's all bullshit. They're capitalizing on your guilt and shame. It shouldn't be that. So we are where we are, and we're going to allow ourselves to be a beginner. We're going to let go of the shame and the guilt. We're going to let go of the missteps. We're going to say, okay, I'm here, but I'm here, and I am resilient, and I have the power to create my change. You might not be able to control every single thought that comes into your mind initially, but you have a choice. Do you believe the BS that your brain has been telling you, or can we flip that thought and make it something true? Make it a statement of growth. Make it a statement of empowerment to change our perspective. I'll be honest with you, this does take practice. But we can either keep going through the same thought patterns and the same actions and the same lack of action and be in the same place at the end of this year as we are now. Or we can work to, okay, be more aware of the thoughts in our mind and say, okay, I hear that inner mean girl. I hear her piping up, but I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to shift my focus. I'm allowing myself to be a beginner. I'm loving myself where I am. And what is one thing that I am in control of right now? Okay. So when we come from a place of love, and I'm going to work on, maybe it is a weight loss goal. I don't want you to think that that's a negative goal, you guys. Maybe it is a weight loss goal. Okay. I am going to work to lose weight this year because I love my body, and taking actions that love and serve my body are going to help me get that result. Right. So I wrote down an example for you. I have to find where it's at in my notes. There we go. So just make sure I keep going through. Okay. So my example that I wrote out is, I need to lose weight. I feel gross and I am sick of feeling stuck. Okay. Maybe you can relate to that. That is coming from the place of lack, right? Not happy with where we are. So in our minds, when we are feeling that way, we think, I need to cut out all the food groups because all carbs are bad. I'm not allowed to have any sweets ever again because I ate all of them in December. So now I can never have them again. And because I ate all the sweets and all the other foods and drank all the drinks in December, I'm not allowed to have any food. I'm only drinking water. Like, you can see how insane that is, right? But that's what we do to ourselves. Like, it's complete insanity. You guys, that's unrealistic. Of course you're going to fail. Nobody can starve them. Like, you can't live without food. You have to have food, right? And we have to have carbs. Despite what some of the fad diets out there are telling you, your body needs carbs. Now, does it need donuts and pizza every day? No, but that is not a carb, even though it's lumped into that category. We have to have carbs for energy. That's what our body is sustained on. Proteins, fats, carbs, right? Like, we have to have those vitamins and minerals. We have to have them to survive. Okay. So when we put those hard restrictions on ourselves, of course we're not going to be motivated because we're miserable. Like, you're going to be probably wanting to hurt your children or scream at them or just have zero patience and be super frustrated and hating life. My husband actually sent me a reel this morning of a girl, it's just making fun, right? It was a TikTok. And she's starting a diet first of the year, and she's crying as she's eating a salad, and it's literally just lettuce. You guys, that is not what loving ourselves is about. So we're gonna shift perspective here. So that is not going to serve us long term. It is not sustainable. We are not going to be able to keep at that pace, nor who the hell would want to keep at that pace. And you guys, really, even if you do lose some weight, because it's not sustainable, when you go back to eating real foods, and let's be honest, you're probably going to overdo it because you were so restrictive, right? You're going to gain all that weight back and probably then some. And then where are you? You feel stuck and you're still in that place of like hating where you're at and why can't I ever stick to it? And you beat yourself up for being a failure. So what if we picked 1 to 3 things that we could shift our focus a little bit with our nutrition? Because remember, we're still in the talking about a weight loss goal, right? So what if those 3 things look like we're going to drink half of our body weight in ounces of water every single day. We're going to eat 1 vegetable with every meal. Okay. And we're going to follow the rule of dinner and done. So we're not going to eat any late night snacks, and we're going to make sure that dinner is done 2 hours before we go to bed. Those are 3 simple, not necessarily easy, right? Because changing is going to take effort, right? But those are 3 simple actions that are very doable, that are going to help you improve just 1% each day. And think about staying with those 3 foundational steps, where you could be by the end of the year. And when you establish those 3 steps, let's say in a month or 2 months, let's say 8 weeks, you add another one that's doable every day, and you just keep building like building blocks. I promise you, you are going to see far better results. You are going to be happier, and you are going to be coming from a place of love rather than a place of lack. It's sustainable. It's something that you can do on a regular basis. Is it going to produce overnight results? No, you guys, it's not. Because like I said in the beginning, where we are today didn't happen in a week. It didn't happen in 2 weeks. It didn't happen in 3 weeks. It has been a series of steps over your entire life, compounded over time. And I know in a society where Siri tells us everything and Amazon Prime will deliver the same day now, our expectations are for things to happen today. We are human beings. We are not a computer. We are not Siri. We are not Amazon Prime. We are human beings who are working through life, who have challenges that we face, who are dealing with emotions, who have a series of habits that we've had our entire life, and we're going to work through creating new ones. So we have to come in with an expectation that it's not always going to be easy, we're not always going to be motivated, and that it's going to take time. Okay, so here is my challenge for you. I want you to think of 1 goal that you would like to achieve in about an 8-week period of time. And I want you to write down 1 to 3 action items, no more than 3. Okay, keep it simple. What are 1 to 3 actions you can do daily that are going to help you just take, even if it's an inch, just 1 little step forward each day towards that goal for the next 8 weeks? Okay, so 1 goal, and then 1 to 3 things you can do daily that are going to allow you to work towards that goal, and write them down. And I encourage you to take it a step further and revisit those action items every day. Make a little to-do list, like a little checklist, and put a little check next to it each time you accomplish it. There is something so empowering If you're a to-do list person like I am, there's something so empowering when you check things off of your to-do list. And I am so guilty of adding things to my to-do list if they got done and they weren't originally on the list, just to say I got it done and to mark it off, right? There is an empowerment there when you are writing that down and you check it off, and it gives you that gratification in your brain. Okay. So write it down. Okay. And then if you are ready to make shifts and you would like to have more one-on-one guidance and have more guidance with mindset, daily support, working towards creating healthier habits with nutrition and fitness, I am inviting you to join us in our wellness community and to start taking those steps with our support, our accountability, the resources and tools that I personally have been using for the last 11 years that have helped me not transform overnight, but continue to grow just 1% every single day to become who I am today. We are excited to invite you into that group and to help you start working towards your goals and to give you that love and support. Together, we can make huge shifts, you guys. I so appreciate you being on. I appreciate you listening to the playback. Just being here and having an open heart is huge. And I want you to acknowledge that and to celebrate yourself for being here, because creating shifts around mindset and learning to be more intentional with our thoughts and learning and growing is something that we don't have to do, right? We don't have to do those things. We can just keep going through the patterns and the cycles we have. But it means you're really ready for some change. So I'm super proud of you. If you found this call helpful, I also encourage you to share with family and friends who might find value in the content that I shared. I love and appreciate you all. Just take each day in stride and remember you are capable of creating whatever changes you desire.